Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today is a special day because I always celebrate the momentous occasion whenever it is time, or it's that time of the year, to unbox another Chanel pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette bottle. You know, for me, it's like a good wine. Usually I go through these one bottle a year. Sometimes if I'm in the mood, sometimes 2 bottles a year. It all depends, like how much I'm obsessing over this perfume. So anyway, I stocked up. Remember I told you guys that when the lockdowns started and I said, their perfumes are going to change. The whole world of perfumes is going to change. You know, raw materials, sourcing of materials, things are going to start getting watered down just to be safe. Let's get this stuff before, you know, heaven forbid they were to discontinue it or whatever. As of now, matter of fact, this concentration of Pour Monsieur, the Eau de Toilette, is not available on the U.S. Chanel website. It is available on the French Chanel website, but it's kind of not available anymore in America, so it's a pity because I do prefer the Eau de Toilette to the Eau de Parfum. Eau de Toilette, released in 1955. The nose behind it is Henri Robert. Yes, the same year the 255 bag was released. Coincidentally, also the same year Disneyland opened, but that's neither here nor there. So, you know, and then the Eau de Parfum was released originally as an Eau de Toilette concentré by Jacques Polge, late 80s, early 90s, I believe, and then it was rebranded an Eau de Parfum by Olivier Polge later on, but that's a Fougère. This is a Chypre. Very, very different fragrances indeed. So first, subscribe to my channel before we get to it. You know, push the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. You can also follow me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together for extra perks over there. So, and I live stream several times a week on my main superdacob channel, so go follow me there as well because, you know, you can partake in the live chat. So hi to my co-chatters. We're going to review this batch of Pour Monsieur. It is a tradition on my channel that whenever a new batch of Pour Monsieur is being opened, of course, we sniff it together. We celebrate it together. This is one of my favorite perfumes of all time. The batch code, like I said, because I did stock up on these years ago, and I have a bunch of them because I was scared they were going to discontinue. As of now, it's still in production in Europe. 5303. 5303. So this is years ago, you guys. Like as of now, we are in the 9 batch code numbers, and actually some products are already done in the 0, because after the 9, Chanel begins again with 0, and then they repeat them every 8 to 9 years. So this is a batch code 5. So this is right around the lockdown period. So this is kind of one of those last batches from that might have been done with the ingredients that they had from right before the lockdowns. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like extra nostalgic. Oh, thumb up this video if you're enjoying it, by the way. It means the world to me, and YouTube really resonates with, you know, comments under the video, liking the video, sharing the video. It really, really helps the channel get known. So it's kind of a time capsule in any way because perfumes are time travel machines for me personally, and I've done several videos on that topic. You can go check that out on my channel as well, like how I see perfumes as time travel machines. But to have a batch still from that time when, you know, we had other problems for sure. Life was not easier. Before 2020, before the first lockdowns, you know, 2019 was what it was, 2018 as well, and, you know, going back in time. But to have a perfume that's still from that era, that a smidge of more carefree era, it is magical to me. So it's like a capsule, like a time capsule, me opening up this perfume. You see how special this is to me? And on top of it all, the fact that this is one of my favorite Chanel perfumes just adds more magic to it. So we're going to open it at the top, just the tip. By the way, yes, the oak moss is in there. It is here at the bottom on the ingredients list. We have unfortunately very, very much at the bottom of the list, but it's there. Evernia prunastri, the oak moss extract. It is listed as the basically almost the last, right? Second to last ingredient. And then at the bottom, let me flip it this way, you see the batch code. There you have it. You see it? It's etched right underneath the barcode, 5303. That kind of dented in, etched in number underneath the batch code, underneath the barcode. So let me say that again. The number etched into the cardboard right underneath the barcode is the batch code. Oh my God. Cardboard, barcode, batch code. Child, it's a tongue twister today. So we are going to open it here at the top. Oh man. It's kind of a sad moment as well because another piece of history, like we're opening it up, it's not preserved. But at the same time, like I said in a video I made on my main channel about fashion, I said, you know, about FOMO and like collecting stuff. Like we're always kind of buying things that we see other famous people or self-proclaimed celebrities or influencers wear, and we think, oh, I want to be like them. No, be your own icon. Be that person that others look up to. Period. So to preserve this for who? For what? You know, because this is more iconic than me? No. I'm not saying I'm more iconic than this. I'm saying you are more iconic than this and everybody. You know what I mean? We all are. So using this enhances your own allure. Wearing stuff you love enhances your own beauty, enhances your own self-esteem and feeling your oats, enjoying life. You know what I mean? So I don't feel bad opening this up. I actually feel enriched by opening it. I feel excited. I feel like, oh, my life is going to be better. Perfumes do make me feel like my life is better for real. Look at that. Still untouched, beautiful reflection of the top of the bottle in silver with the gray. Look at that beauty. Now, I do have a green screen on, so obviously we don't really see green liquid. So if I put it up here, it looks weird. But let me put it in front of my shirt so it gets other colors as well in there so that the green screen doesn't kind of cancel out the color of it completely. It's a beautiful tint of green. It's such a beautiful dense green. Oh, man. Almost like a beigey green. Beautiful. So this bottle is still the traditional bottle of Pour Monsieur. Now, obviously, you know, things have changed throughout the years. I wonder if Chanel is going to discontinue this as well. Now, let me lift up another little beauty, Cristal. So they used to have the same bottle as well as Cristal Eau Verte. But as you can see, same bottle, different stoppers. One is black, lacquered, glossy, and one is mattified gray. Cristal has been discontinued in this bottle, and now Cristal has been rebranded this way in this new bottle, as well as Cristal Eau Verte. It just has a white stopper instead of a black one, but this is not magnetic. You can check out my review of Cristal, the new EDT, also on my channel. But why am I showing you this bottle? Because now that Cristal has been rebranded in the new bottle and Cristal Eau Verte has been rebranded in the new bottle, Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette is literally the last standing Chanel perfume that has this old school Chanel spray bottle still available. Not in the States, but it is available in Europe. So I do wonder if France is going to sooner than later change this bottle for Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette into this bottle, just adding the gray stopper. I hope they won't. You never know. For now, when you go on the Chanel French website, you still see this bottle under the Eau de Toilette, and it is in stock I did take a screenshot. 115 euro is the price in Europe. Not available in America as of now. So let's open it up and let's twist the sprayer to the front. There it is. Look at the tricks that Chanel does. I mean, it is 100 ml, right? But there's kind of, when you flip it like this, it looks completely full, liquid-wise. My eyes in the bottle. This is hilariously gorgeous. But then when you kind of flip it, look, then you there is an air bubble in there. And you might think, wait, hold on a minute. Why is so much liquid missing already? Well, they have to guarantee you 100 ml. They can put in more than 100 ml. They cannot put in less than 100 ml. But that doesn't mean that the bottle cannot be bigger than 100 ml. So just letting you guys know, that's kind of how it works with the aesthetics of things. Oh my gosh, momentous occasion. Give me a minute. Give me a moment. I'm sorry, but it's just, it knocks me out of my feet. Off my feet. Oh, man, this is just Chanel. Gorgeous. Oh, that bergamot and the aldehydes and the ginger and the smidge of labdanum. The oak moss. This thing, there's a hint of vanilla in the dried out. So listen, when it comes to the ingredients, right, they list Sicilian lemon, petit grain, Sicilian bergamot, neroli in the opening notes, and then cardamom. Now that cardamom in here is so good. My mouth is watering. It warms up the composition. Coriander, basil, oak moss, vetiver, cedar wood, smidge of vanilla in there. There's warmth and sweetness in there, but it's also bergamoty. And the sparkling aldehydes in the opening make this thing float. So imagine this bottle that has been stored in my archives since 2019, 2020. So 3 years of it kind of maturing, ripening, and now it gets its first kind of oxygen in. And spraying it on brand new, such an experience. Of course, now that it's open, now that it's open, it's going to get more and more, deep. It's going to develop in this beautiful Chypre-esque direction. Is it the same fragrance that was originally released in 1955? No. No, it does not have the same amount of oak moss in it anymore. It has shifted formulas more and more. It has adapted more to the times. But the fascinating thing about this one, even though it is an Eau de Toilette that has that context of being like, a male cologne, it has never aged badly. I know some people might think, oh, this is like a grandpa perfume. Not at all. It has a classic elegance to it. It has a very classic, sophisticated vibe to it. But this perfume is in a league of its own. Timeless, effortless, not for nothing. Coco, when she created... Now, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. But in the many books, over 200 at this point in my library, books on Coco Chanel and her life, that I have read, and all the information that I have collected throughout the years, it would appear that the only perfume marketed towards men that Coco released in 1955, coincidentally was the year she did it, was Pour Monsieur, Eau de Toilette. And that's it. So she allegedly said, that's all we need. I love Chanel No. 5. It's a great perfume. Its counterpart... Yes, the counterpart to Chanel No. 5 is Pour Monsieur. It is so perfect and fully bodied and constructed. No need to do another perfume for men. Like, this is the one. And I gotta hand it to Coco. If we were to really still go, according to gender, and I always say perfume knows no gender. Wear whatever perfume suits your skin, whatever you like on your skin, whatever you like smell-wise to your own nose on your own skin is the perfume for you. You don't need to ask, other people's opinion, or, other people don't need to like it on you. You need to like it on you. You're wearing the perfume for yourself, not for others. This is at least how I wear perfume. I wear perfume for me, never for others. So the fact that she kind of just thought, this is perfect the way it is. I don't need another one. I understand. If we were to really strip down the entire roster of whatever perfumes Chanel is offering targeted to men, fragrances today, if we were really, really to reduce it to just one, it would be Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette for me. Second place would be Egoiste, contending its second place with Anteus. All the other ones I don't really need personally. Now, yes, Bois Noir was a thing before Egoiste was released. A slightly darker, deeper smelling Egoiste, but it's basically Bois Noir. Eau Noir is from Dior. Bois Noir was released before Egoiste. Yes, I have smelled it. It's, considering that it was released in the late 80s, boutique exclusive. If you smell it today, it has ripened, it has deepened after so many decades. But fundamentally, the DNA of Bois Noir is Egoiste. Okay. The current version of Egoiste being watered down as opposed to the Egoiste that was released in the early 90s. But let's just say if you were to smell an early 90s release of Egoiste Eau de Toilette and you were to compare it with Bois Noir, they're basically the same perfume. One is a little bit more concentrated because it was made just for the boutiques. They could use better ingredients. Egoiste was a mass-released product. They had to use a little bit lesser strong components for it, right? But back to Pour Monsieur. This is the one. If you were to take away everything else from Chanel for me, male-wise, I would be fine with just Pour Monsieur. And with number 5, where are you? Here it is. I always keep it in its pouch, the extrait of number 5. Like, if we're going to tone it all down, to the core, I would have the extrait of Chanel number 5 and Pour Monsieur. These are like kind of, I don't travel without them. I don't go anywhere without them. You know what I mean? These are just like my essentials. And coincidentally, mesh so well together. So well together. So I'm going to spray a little bit of the Chanel number 5 extrait, which I have just also unboxed on my channel. So go check out my updated review of the extrait. So we have a almost full, I've been using it, almost full vial of the 7.5 ml extrait of Chanel number 5 spray. And I love to spray it on my chest. So we're just I'm gonna unbutton, but I'm not gonna show. We're not gonna do the ratchet, but I'm gonna spray it right on my chest. Oh my God, there, just one spray, just to have it. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, wow. Oh man, heaven. Okay. And then we are going to add a spray of Pour Monsieur also on the chest area. Sorry, let me just go in like. Oh, this is good. This hits the spot. So basically what I do every time I unbox a new, fresh batch of Pour Monsieur or of Chanel number 5, the extrait, or any other of my favorite perfumes, we add a little bit to the storyline, to the narrative of these perfumes, because this is also a review. We also add new elements, new details. Another piece of the puzzle, in other words, falls into place. So what is that piece of the puzzle today? The layering. between number 5 and Pour Monsieur. It is such a vibe. Let me also put a little bit of the extrait. Let me collect it all before it's gone. I got give it all to me. No, this is on another level. I mean, this is, and coincidentally, I usually kind of finish these batches right, and I unbox a new one right around, the holiday season. So it is, winter vibes, autumn vibes. So we do have like Chanel number 5, which is always heavily promoted during the holiday season. Chanel wants to raise awareness about their perfume. They invest a lot of money to remind us all that this is the queen/king of all perfumes, right? But they don't really invest any money in re-promoting Pour Monsieur. Pour Monsieur is kind of a very much an IYKYK moment. If you know, you know fragrance. But they are both in the same tradition, in the same vein of Chanel perfumes. And once you combine the two, you really, really, really start drifting towards vintage Chanel energy. The way these used to, like the way Chanel perfumes used to smell, even from the 80s and 90s. Oh, layering them. Oh my gosh. There's a depth that you get when you layer the extrait of number 5 with Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette. It almost, it's going into the old school Pour Monsieur smell, because Pour Monsieur has at its heart and at its core a little mystery. And the mystery is it has an echo of Chanel number 5 in its aura, in its soul. And when you kind of spray number 5 extrait onto Pour Monsieur, it kind of wakens up that soul, that spirit. And it starts smelling more old school Pour Monsieur with, believe it or not, a hint of Cuir de Russie. So, and we're not talking modern day version Eau de Parfum of Cuir de Russie. Also, we're not talking of the modern day version of the Parfum of Cuir de Russie. We're talking about if you've managed to find a vintage bottle, predating the 80s even, Cuir de Russie. That's the direction we're going here. And yet, so clever, Chanel manages to maintain that clean, soapy accord that these perfumes have anyway on their own, both of them, Pour Monsieur and number 5. The aldehydic, clean, sparkly notes, of course, they mesh very well because both of them have the aldehydes in them. So you feel clean, you feel washed, you feel sophisticated, but you also feel spiced up. You also feel amped up. You feel woodsy. You feel deep. You feel the horniness of how Chanel fragrance can also be. It's very skin-based. It's very attractive and alluring. It's very much calling your name. It wants you to come in closer. It is calling you to come in closer. It lures you in. It is such an intimate perfume, pardon me, for whoever, sorry, ratchet plastic bottle. Gotta keep hydrated and lubed. It is such a moment where you are sharing an intimate experience of your skin, the tactile experience of skin through smell that lures somebody in with your partner, with somebody, with that special person that you do allow to come closer to you. Pardon me. That's the vibe that this sets off. It is, and as it dries down, as it becomes more and more woodsy, both Chanel number 5 and Pour Monsieur, as they hit their vetiver, cedar wood, patchouli for Chanel number 5. There is patchouli in the base as well. Smidge of sandal for number 5. Pardon me. As they start hitting that accord, that note, that hue. For Chanel number 5, it's also the melting of the jasmine. Only the extrait has the grasse jasmine and the grasse May rose. When you start hitting that, it's magic. That in combination with the dry down of Monsieur, that's when the real magic happens. That dry down, to be able to smell that on your skin or on the skin of your partner or your loved one, that's a special experience. That's an experience you share with only the people you love the most, because it's a gift, really. It's like a gift you're giving somebody. It's like you're opening that extra door and saying, look, this exists. We can go this far. Like, you smell this on skin and you're like, oh, wow, it's actually really cool to be alive, because on living skin of a human being, right, mixed with these perfumes, the real magic happens. The perfumes on their own in the bottle don't go there. That extra place and space only happens in combination with your own smell, right? With your own pheromones, with your own essential oils, with your own hormones, with your own hormonal balance, with your own smell. Fused together creates the magic. And once that magic is created, you go, I want to re-experience this again. Yes, it's almost like a drug. It's kind of like addictive. Like, you want to smell it again. And then, the next day, you're like, okay, let me respray. Let me go again in that direction. I want to go there again. And you keep going on this journey over and over again as you reapply. And then you start noticing, today, let me dose it slightly differently. Let me have half a spritz of number 5 and a full-blown spritz of Pour Monsieur, or like 2 sprays of Pour Monsieur, 1 of number 5. Or today, I'm just going to do the Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette on its own. I'm going to do 10 sprays. Tomorrow, I'm going to do just 2 sprays. You start kind of balancing and playing. And the more you play, the more you realize, oh, wow, there's so many facets to this perfume. There's so many nuances to it. In other words, your relationship with this fragrance starts developing, right? You become the best of friends, you become lovers, you become family, and you realize there's a mood and also a character and a moodiness to a perfume. And then you realize, okay, well, I know how this is going to smell on me in humid weather, in winter and summer. And I know how this is going to smell on me if I'm in a good mood, if I'm not in so much in a good mood, if I'm more in a kind of an anxious mood, if I'm in a more happy mood. So I know, okay, so the mood I have today, the weather we're having today, the time of day we're having today, I know that I need to spray this amount on this part of my body. Yes, different parts of the body are going to smell different as well. So the more time passes and the more you use it and the more you experiment with it and the more you learn how it works with you and for you. In other words, that relationship grows between you and Pour Monsieur. And the beauty of it is, it's like a secret language that you develop with your perfume. Perfumes are my friends, you guys. I know this sounds really quirky and sounds almost like, total geek nerding out. Like, what a freak. What do you mean perfumes are best friends? They are. They have gotten me through thick and thin. They've gotten me through the worst of times and also through the best of times. Perfumes support me. I feel like they never let me down. I feel like the perfume that I know, that I love, is always going to be there for me. Always. And Pour Monsieur is that fragrance. I feel every time I wear it, I am protected. Somebody's looking after me. Somebody's looking out for me. And the more you're using it, the more time passes that you spend with your best friend, the more you know how to dose it. And the more it becomes almost like an extension of your being, because the more you use it and the more you realize, this is a tool that I use to enhance my aura, my vibe, my mood today, my needs, my longings, my wanting and needing. There's a difference between what we want and what we need. And it's actually really important that we understand and can maintain distinguishing what is want and what is need. This can also be utilized as a tool to help us enhance our self-awareness, self-preservation, also kind of like really understanding, okay, well, this as an extension of who I am facilitates my presentation of myself in society as well, even though, like I said, we're wearing this perfume for ourselves, not for others, but it gives us a boost of self-confidence. It gives us a boost of understanding that we can enhance our own appeal, our own beauty, our own self-awareness through beautiful things like perfumes. Not just that, but I always say perfumes can kind of facilitate time travel. You know, certain perfumes smell, biggest example of a Chanel fragrance that does that to me, number 22. I smell it, I'm immediately back in the 20s. And take it from a vampire that's 237 years old. You always have that. I'm in the 20s. It's a time machine. Pour Monsieur does something very, very clever. The way it's formulated, and then mixed with number 5, forget about it. It's just insane. But the way it's formulated, it doesn't take me back to the 50s, well, this current formula at least, but rather kind of takes me into a very, very nice and safe place in the future, where from that future we have a recollection and a memory, but a very fond memory of what the past used to be. It's a beautiful composition that makes us actually have hope in the past. Now, I know this sounds a bit abstract. Past is already past. History is already history. We can learn from history books, although not all history books tell us the truth, because as we know in the past, especially before internet, history was written by the winners, almost never by the losers. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, what the books are telling us. But to have a perfume like this that actually makes you feel a vibe of the future, and from that future makes you feel like the past was beautiful, kind of gives you a definition, gives you almost like a memory chip of the beautiful things from the past, not the ugly things of the past. To have a perfume like that that reminds us of the beautiful things of the past, it's just magical to me, really. It gives me hope. So it's kind of a hope for the past from the future. It doesn't get more magical than that, you guys. So if you can get your hands on Pour Monsieur Eau de Toilette, I highly recommend it. It's a delicate, subtle version of Pour Monsieur nowadays. You know, it has been watered down. It's not that bombastic oak moss chypre accord it used to be in the 50s, but it's still wonderful and beautiful in its subtle, delicate way that it has now. It's still light years better than anything else out there. Just divine. Let's spray a little bit on the camellia as well while we're at it. Oh, on clothes. On clothes, it has such a subtle, clean, bergamoty, neroli vibe to it. It's like a wake-up call, like a warm cup of coffee or a warm mug or cup of tea in the morning. Just nice vibes. Makes you feel safe, makes you feel like everything is going to be okay, whether it be in the future or in the past. So I have to say, great success for me personally, this unboxing, you know, kind of re-sniffing it, rediscovering it, making me feel all the feels all over again. It's just so magical. So bear with me. I know like every time from now and then, you're going to see me re-unboxing another bottle of Pour Monsieur, but I do it because I love it so much. I mean, this is a perfume channel. Perfume channels, I've noticed this from a lot of other channels. It's not like they do a perfume review of one perfume and then that's it. They never go back to it. Some people do, but rarely. I don't think that's the right approach. I think we grow, we mature, we evolve. It's good to re-review fragrances, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever years after you've already done a review, because you're not in the same space anymore. You're not in the same place anymore. You are You have evolved. You have shedded your skin. You have shedded. You have shed your skin. You know what I mean? Like we're metaphorically, spiritually speaking, we're evolving, we're moving on. So kind of revisiting your best friends all over again. Yes, it's like seeing a best friend all over again after, you don't see your friends from school, whatever, from your childhood, from your youth, and then like 20 years later, you meet again and you feel like no time has passed. That's the feeling I get with this one. And yet, even though no time has passed, feeling-wise, your friends still have a lot to tell you of what has happened to them in those 20 years that you haven't seen each other. The same happens to me with perfumes I love. I unbox a new batch a year later or 2 years later, and I'm like, oh, well, dear friend, dear old friend, what stuff have you experienced in that 1 or 2 years that we haven't seen each other, that you've been in the box, What's the news? Tell me. I feel like no time has passed, and yet something is slightly different, There is an evolution to this friendship. There is an evolution to this relationship. So I feel it is vital to relive and refreshen up the relationship with our best friends, with our perfumes from time to time. And so especially for perfume reviewers, to go back and revisit their best friends over and over and over again, because that's how life is. That's, at the end of the day, that's also how friendships work, how relationships work. And since I always say perfumes are my best friends, of course I'm going to revisit them as well. Maybe now you understand a little bit more my logic and will bear with me as once this bottle is empty, we do another review of Monsieur with the next batch. I'm looking forward to it. But of course, first and foremost, looking forward to using up this little baby here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review and unboxing. Oh my God, I'm in heaven. Let me know your thoughts and prayers down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thumb up this video if you're enjoying it, and never give up on fragrant love. Love you loads. Until next time, cheerio, old chap.